now I've become kind of their go-to guy on the Grand Tour and Top Gear for doing when they want to do something stupid off-road with unsuitable cars. You kind of usually ask me, is it doable or not? And you kind of go, probably. Everybody did mixtures of everything. So some people had hammocks, tied them off trees or off the car to another car. Some people had tents on the ground, but with the mud that was pretty kind of interesting. We kind of made up, we had a great big flat roof rack on the top, so we made it up a big kind of cover on top of it, and a mosquito net. Had 3 of us sleeping up on there, and then the one guy just used to fall asleep on the back seats, straight across the back seats. He was asleep anywhere, that guy. He was yeah, pretty cool. But we slept up on the roof. It was pretty good. We could get up on the bonnet or the hood of the car and take your dirty boots off and all your wet horrible gear off, and then climb up into the roof rack and sleep up there. But they say some nights we did 2 times. Woke up, literally just woke up in the car exactly where we'd been sitting when we fell asleep, and we just kind of stopped in a mud hole with a big queue of cars stopped in front of us. And we literally just, I woke up, just slumped over the steering wheel. Everybody else just woke up, in the car because we was that tired, and just kept going literally until we fell asleep. So it's, yeah, there was a few snakes. Didn't see any really. Like sleeping's not too bad. I mean, there's 20 odd cars and we're getting on for 80 people, so you're making that much noise that most animals kind of keep away. The worst thing was hornets and insects and mosquitoes. I did actually caught malaria when we were out there. I didn't know it until I got home.
It's just like this the whole way through. So the idea here is to get the tractor going and use him to pull the whole convoy through. It's the only way we do it, I think.
And I say the competitors, you can only take part once. You get one chance. That's it. Once you've had a go, you can't ever try again. But yeah, a few lucky ones got asked to go and help with the management.
So is that lion's back directly in front of us?
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, that looks more scary for real than it is on the videos on YouTube. That's for sure. It's actually the one. Yeah, it's the one. Yeah, go on.
So where those Jeeps are, if you go out past around it,
yep.
From the Hell's Revenge Trail, you can go off the trail on a designated area,
yep.
And it brings you around to the back side of Lion's Back.
Yeah.
And there's a absolutely terrifying, stupid off camber that you put your truck, and you can go around a fin and end up on the other side of Lion's Back.
All right, yeah.
I've never done it. I've only seen pictures of people doing it.
Yeah.
I've been up there and looked at it.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would anybody even try this?
Yeah.
Because if you screw up at all or have a mechanical failure, anything, you're going over the edge.
Yeah. Okay.
You're all set.
All right. Thank you very much. There we go. Sand Flats Recreational Area. Good trails. You wouldn't want to be doing this in the rain though. That'd be pretty scary. It's bits like this where you can't see where you're going. It's always been fun since I've been a kid on the farm, taking a car somewhere most people think you can't take a car, or a motorbike or whatever. We had old chalk pits on the farm, like little mini chalk quarries, and you kind of just try and climb steep things and do kind of stupid things with cars that you shouldn't really do. It's just, yeah, always just got a kick out of it, I guess. So, yeah.
So day 2 in Moab, we're just over 1,000 miles from Newberg, Oregon, from home base. But we're going to make a point to get out of town, just outside of Moab, to run the Hell's Revenge Trail.
That was just too easy. It was miles away from there. I thought it was going to get close. It didn't get close at all.
So after the Bronco, next up's our GX470, which is overland built. It certainly can handle trails, just not quite as easily as the Bronco on 37s can.
when he went a bit quicker just now, that suspension seems to work really well on the Bronco as well, because going over rough stuff, it'd be nice, you can really hammer across this stuff.
Yeah.
Quite nice to see it working.
Do this often?
Not rock crawling.
First time.
Yeah. Nothing's this dry at home. It's mud and slippery slopes.
So in late 2009, I get a phone call from some random British guy on a terrible connection, claiming that he's with Top Gear and they're doing something in Bolivia and they're interested in metal tech products. And I had no idea who this guy was. And it turns out it's Bob Ives. And the more we talked, the more I realized that it was real. Before you know it, I was on a plane flying to Bolivia to help him with the shoot for BBC and Top Gear.
First Top Gear job I ever did. Should I say go into it in a minute? Yeah. It was on the very first Top Gear job I did it was a Bolivia, Chile, Death Road, South America job where we had an old Range Rover, an old FJ Cruiser and a little Suzuki, and they brought out, we kind of had to do mod, and they always do silly mod sessions in the middle of the show where they lifted them and put roll cages in. So myself and another British guy did the Range Rover, and then Mark came over with his buddy to do the Toyota FJ because he was brought in as a Toyota specialist, and that's where I first got to know him, I guess. So here we are many years later out in Moab with his latest creation in the Bronco.
You didn't fly a wheel?
No, I slipped off the line. I'll go back. Get
You just back up?
Yeah. That was good. Keep moving. Keep going, go on.
So our 2022 Bronco is equipped with a 2-inch RadFlow remote reservoir suspension system, coilovers all the way around. We have 37 1250/17 tires. These are Falcon Wild Peaks. And then all of the armor on the truck is the prototype parts from Metaltech for our sliders that are 100% bolted to the frame, no attachment to the chassis or to the body. And then we have our front winch mount, which the winch mount system bolts to the front of the truck, features soft shocker recovery points, hard shocker recovery points, 20-inch light bar, and then the crown jewels, the rear bumper in the back. It's a full swing out system mounted to the frame. It's carrying our 37-inch tire completely off the back door. And of course it also has soft shackle and hard shocker recovery points.
It'd be cool to trick the Lexus up and bring it up through here, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It'll go right up this.
Yeah.
No, so a customer, group of Lexuses came along.
Yeah.
They stopped at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
And one guy, he parked at the very, very bottom, which you never do, because if the car comes down, you're gonna hit. He leaves his engine running, fortunately, gets out, his girlfriend's in the car, gets out and gets into the other Lexus. They start going up it, and somehow he had double failure, like the engine quit.
Yeah.
And I think they bumped the transmission, the transfer case into neutral or something. I don't know what. He had no brakes. And so he did a really good job guiding it down backwards.
Yeah.
And then our Pegasus rear bumper smashed into our Goblin front bumper. And of course the Goblin absorbed the impact and deformed like it's supposed to. The winch mount held straight, but allowed all the airbags and safety systems to work. And so the girl in the car, her own words were, "I just ate the airbag," but she had no impact. I mean, she got out of it, walked away.
Yeah.
From there on out, he's like, I'm only going to run a Meltec bumper because it worked. You know. Every time I look at a laser table and all that, I'm like, why? Stop. Back up about 3-4 feet, just slowly. there. I'm like, has he ever done this before? He said, no, it's his first time. So that line, as you get near the top, you have to hug the right wall. But from the truck, it looks like you go to the left. It just looks like that's the national line. So most people want to manually go to, or automatically go to the left. But if you do, and you start to climb it, you'll flip over backwards. So you got to hang to the right. It feels unnatural to hang to the right, but that's what you do.
Get the car to stay flat.
Yep.
The only car I've ever flipped was a short wheelbase Jeep on a Jeep launch, which was a bit embarrassing. They wanted an extreme course for their toughest off-road journalists, and I just kind of dropped one wheel into a hole, embarrassing, and the car just went over ever so slowly. I mean, it was just almost just cartoonish. It just went on its side. On the trophy, we got involved with off-road camera tracking, which was kind of new at the time, stabilised heads for cameras and things on rough terrain, and a friend of mine developed a vehicle especially for filming that kind of off-road stuff, and I helped him drive those that a few times. Duncan Barber, another old Camel guy, but he developed this really cool Barber all-terrain tracking vehicle, the Bat, and drove that on a few things, and then he got involved with some of the Top Gear stuff, which I then did as well, and then we both kind of just got into that and helping them out on anything kind of off-road really. So, and now I've become kind of their go-to guy on the Grand Tour and Top Gear for doing when they want to do something stupid off-road with unsuitable cars. You kind of usually ask me, is it doable or not? And you kind of go, probably. They took three station wagons, estate cars, across Africa. Source of the Nile was the kind of story, but it was, you know, that's and they had it was a Volvo with low profile tyres on Volvo station wagon, and it actually did really, really well. It was amazing what those cars put up with.
That's a good paint colour.
Yeah, yellow. Yeah, yeah, I mean, it's amazing when they have taken cars in. They had a Subaru Impreza, but that was kind of, you expect it's four-wheel drive and did okay, but the Volvo, just two-wheel drive, low profile tyres, like I say, and just amazing where the thing went. I mean, it was pretty busted up by the end of it, but it's always amazing where you can put standard cars if you don't have much care for them. It is cool doing dumb things with cars.
What's up, guys?
Do you want to get a little footage here?
Yeah, that looks good. Hang on, let me get back here.
We really needed to get back off the trail, get the Bronco back on the trailer, and point everything further south to get down to Arizona, to Flagstaff. We had 320 miles left to go, and we needed to do it by nightfall.
Looking at the horizon here, kind of thing, you're going, okay, it's not actually that steep. It's kind of, probably would climb 45 degrees. This is, I don't know what that was, maybe 35 or something. So it's, yeah, still got a way to go, but it's pretty unnerving. Yeah. Trick is always to keep it pointing straight up or straight down a slope, never to turn across it, you know, flip the car. So if you're pointing straight up, straight down, you should be okay, in theory.
Back tire clear.
Yeah, the lady going, oh my god!
So winch is gonna hit.
Yeah.
Did it?
I didn't see. Did it touch the sand at all? I don't know. Clay was seeing it. Yeah, we'll see.
Touched a little bit.
Yeah, I was thinking, shit, we're gonna get like nosed in and.
But when you rounded that out, I thought for sure the back
Yeah.
tire would hit.
Yeah. No,
Cleared.
impressive. Yeah.
37 cleared.
Yeah, very good.
Great.
yeah, the Top Gear thing, it was, I mean, anybody who's watched it or knows that Jeremy likes to kind of push the boundaries a little bit of humour and some of the gags sometimes, and I think, yeah, and after one of the shows they had a falling out with some of the producers and things, and it was kind of well documented, but the BBC sort of sacked them, or sacked him, and the others went with him and sold the show to Amazon and became the Grand Tour, really. So it's pretty much the same format, creating a bit of havoc. So yeah, that's the Lions Back, that ridge going up there on the left hand side, the high one, you can just see it coming out. Yeah, they closed it there, some people getting killed on there. So yeah. Not far from here in Moab, in Telluride, they did a story with they were driving old Jags, showing what kind of rogues drive old Jags, which is kind of had a bit perceived in the UK, and they were over in the States, just buying 3 old Jags that were just driving around. And one of the tests was on Telluride Airfield, which anybody that knows it is a pretty amazing airfield. It's got a 1,000-foot drop off one end and the mountains on the other end, so it's pretty kind of short takeoff and landing. But they were doing a acceleration and brake test on the airfield, and then I mean, obviously it's a set up stunt, but James May was supposedly not braking quick enough in his car, an old, I think it was Jag XK convertible, went off the end, which was all rigged with some remote controls and a dummy in it, and the other 2 just kind of look around and go, oh shit, James hasn't made it, whatever, and the car goes off the end, and it was we were standing down below just to make sure the road, nothing debris came down on the road, and the car literally shot off the end of the runway, took out a few trees on the way down, and landed halfway down the mountain, and they had to get a recovery crew to, part of it, obviously the deal was to clear it all up afterwards, and they had a recovery crew go down there and winch all the various parts back up, but it did remarkably stay in one piece, the main car, obviously panels and things littering the mountainside, but it was pretty cool to see, yeah, pretty cool stunt.
We're filming a nature documentary now.
All over the car.
Yeah.